Roxanne.
Yes.
Yes, your government is being accused, and we have heard the NPP say in very clear terms that this is clear political persecution of Wontumi, and it will take only John Mahama. Some even say John Mahama and Ibrahim Mahama to get him out.
Mahama family.
Your colleague, MP and minority leader, made a statement on the floor of the House calling for, his release. Why are you doing all this?
Thank you very much. Good morning once more to my co-panelists and of course my people in Southern. It's an unfortunate observation. Let me give you some background to Wontumi's present predicament. As far back as 2022, CSOs in this country called for his prosecution, criminal prosecution. He and perhaps others, I'm not certain, are the controlling minds behind Akunta mining. And Akunta mining had been established beyond doubt to have engaged in illegal mining. So CSOs, not NDC, not NPP, private citizens in this country called for his prosecution. That call was ignored by the Attorney General. 3 private citizens, Ken Ashigbe, Kwame Sapong-Asiedu, and Martin Pebu, filed a petition to Let me get there.
Okay.
The initial call was in sometime in 2022. It got to the crescendo in October 2022. It was ignored. In January 2023, they renewed the call. So what did they do? They filed a petition. Now they followed it up with a formal request that this entity called Akunta Mining and its controlling mines should be criminally prosecuted. Now, before that petition could be acted upon, the president is on record to have gone to a function and defended that Akunta Mining was not engaged in any illegal mining. So, perfunctorily, that petition to ask for the prosecution of Wontumi and other persons engaged in illegal mining, as far as Akunta Mining Company was concerned, died. But you see, crime does not rot. So if the state failed to act yesterday, the state is obligated under law to act today. Because the persons who exercise the executive powers of state changes. Now, came this January. But in Pebu, one of the petitioners in January 2023 didn't fold down his arms. He renewed the call. So that would have been the 3rd renewal of that call. And said that Akunta Mining and its controlling mines ought to be prosecuted. So Wontumi's arrest has been long in coming. Now, what has been thrown into the mix is the fact that he appears to have engaged in multiple offenses. So apart from the issue of illegal mining, which is hanging over him like a sword of Damocles, he's also been accused of having been engaged in some money laundering and some other offenses.
Fraud, causing financial loss to the state, and money laundering.
Great.
The criminal investigation is running concurrently with asset recovery processes to prevent further dissipation of what law enforcement agencies strongly suspect to be proceeds of crime. The suspect is also under a 2nd strand of investigation, which is part of a larger international organized crime. The IOCO is assiduously working with our international law enforcement partners on this 2nd strand of criminal investigations. And this was the statement by Justice Shremsai, the Deputy Attorney General.
He threw some light on the matter. I'm even informed that the FIC is also preparing its own docket.
Financial Intelligence.
Thank you.
Center.
So this is not the first time that an accused person at this stage, a suspect, is investigated in respect of suspected offenses that is committed contemporaneously. Indeed, by practice, if a suspect is taken through initial police inquiry, a prima facie is established and prosecution commences. Prosecution always has the power, and there are statutes, to go back to court and vary or amend the charge sheet if further evidence emerged that further crimes have been committed which deserves or warrants prosecution by the same accused person standing trial. So these are the legal basis underpinning why Wontumi will leave one police inquiry spot and be invited to another police prosecution inquiry spot.
Not invited, arrested.
Fine. So it came with a warrant. So, and be arrested. Now, Hassan Tampuli says what? That the manner of the arrest.
No, address the constitutional.
Yes, so I'm saying that you are saying that the manner of the arrest is illegal and that the continuous detention is unconstitutional. Great. Who determines the constitutionality of an arrest? It's a court of law. You've cited certain instances. You made the point that a court process, even though pending outcome of a court, a validly filed court process, the prosecutors or the investigating body ought to have released the suspect for him to have his interim freedom. Now, you know by practice, and as a practitioner, you know that the court could have suo motu, determining the application, directed that the bail as initially granted by the prosecuting body be reversed based on the evidence that would have gone before the court. So Iyoko acted properly by saying we had the intention of exercising our rights under 96 subsections 3-4 to grant bail because perhaps we have assessed that he may not be a fugitive of justice. Is not capable of interfering with further inquiries into the matter, is committed to stand trial and defend himself, the matter. But the pendency of a judicially filed application has tied up our hands because that matter will be contested on its merits. Because you are praying technically that the bail terms as granted by Iyoko to have his interim freedom should be varied or should be lowered, as it were. But if Iyoko contests it and deposes to certain facts, the court may come to a certain other determination.
They're going to hold him forever.
No?
Yes, certainly.
No.
So processing for court.
So your submission. So your submission
processing for court.
No. So your submission that his continuous detention in police cells or whichever cells is being held is unconstitutional, is absolutely unfounded. Absolutely. And let me tell you, I've been involved in Wontumi because Wontumi came up. And I was Wotumi's lawyer 40 years ago in this studio. Young lawyer, and I was the face of the trial. The difficulties we had. Everybody at the time said it was regular. So we can make the general submission that
this was 54 million.
Yes. So the enormity of the bail terms depends on what is being assessed as being the subject of the offense being looked into. So people have had half a billion in this country as bail terms. Somebody even suggested yesterday that Namwa had like a billion.
Yeah, not suggested. He had $1 billion.
Good.
But the point to note, however, is that the Woyomis, the Atuesians who got like 670 million and so bail, those who got 200 million and so on, even Eduwahin, is it 120 or so?
And then the courts.
So all of them, apparently, you will see that their bails were set by the courts, almost all of them.
Yes.
Their bails were set by the court.
Yes.
Even in amounts that was far more than what
And that is
this guy is
based on
facing.
the facts of the case.
But in most of these cases,
How does
they also
mining-
went back to the court and sought variation, and
Isn't
the bail conditions were, stepped down.
How does mining in a forest reserve, become an offense that cannot be billed? That for which reason you need 50 million Ghana cedis for bill to be granted?
Because you had your time. Hassan, I will be scandalized if you make that point. Because you see, in granting bail, as we all know, is granted in phases. At this stage, we speak of prosecution inquiry bail or police inquiry bail, as is on the books, because now we have other prosecuting agencies. So prosecuting inquiry bail, they have similar powers. That is why when you are dissatisfied, then you bring in the judicial angles that let the court determine. Even when the court grants it and you are still dissatisfied, you can go back for a variation. That's lowering of the conditions. But the fundamental basis upon which it is granted is the same. Would you be a fugitive of justice if the police grants you interim bail? If you are, they will not. If you are capable of committing further crimes, they will not allow you to go, even though they are still looking into the matter. Are you capable of interfering with further police inquiry into the matter? If you demonstrate that, they will not grant you a police inquiry. So, police inquiry bail.
Or any bail at all.
Or any bail at all.
But the substantive question.
The substantive question.
Chairman Wontumi is known. He's all over the place. It's available. Where is he running to? Why do you set the bail at 50 million? Why don't you put it as a figure that shows that you are more willing to grant him bail?
That discretion lies with the prosecuting body. I am not.
So it's the discretion that is being questioned now.
Yeah, but the discretion...
Because the discretion must be exercised fairly,
yes,
not capriciously.
I think that is being exercised fairly. Do you know the amounts involved? As far back as 2023, Public Accounts Committee, which I served on proudly, interrogated findings by the Auditor General against Chairman Wontumi for a cocoa road contract that he got, 50 million. He was paid as much as 45 million. He never touched the road. So we called for his prosecution. It was never done. It was never done. That has not even come up yet. Because I know that matter. It was part of the people Chairman Veji wrote to the Attorney General at the time. A long list of
took
people.
in excess of 40 million.
Yes.
And didn't do
I am not the one speaking.
work.
I am not the one speaking. He's the Auditor General.
Oh, really?
Yes. They went to verify the road and what has been done technically, the grading that was done was not worth more than $1 million.
Okay, so there was some grading done.
Yes, but they assessed that it's as if nothing was done. The money was taken and nothing.
Are these part of the charges?
No, I am telling you that.
No, but what you are saying, suggests to me that...
I am telling you that the bill, because you are questioning the enormity of the bill sum. That property must be brought, assessed to meet same. And you are saying it's unfair. It's an abuse of discretion.
There are other angles we can feed. So if you can catch a breather here.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.